Hello, it's 1:11 a.m. on April the 6th, January, February, March, April the 6th, 2019. And my name is Barbara Elvira Hulkkonen, and this is Angel Talks. And what I do here is randomly open the Bible to where I open it to and I point to a word without looking, and I read the word and read the sentence and read the paragraph and perhaps the chapter of what I picked, and then I discuss it. Okay, and first I'm going to start by smoking some Canjay. See, this is what we have here. And I'm just going to take a roller paper. I've been away for a little while and I'm back now. And I had a great time being away. Really, really good time. And we'll just put this up there. And bring this over here. And light this up. Thank you, dear God. Thank you. I hope you're letting it down. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire. You know that it would be untrue. You know that I would be alone if I was to say to you, oh, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire. I know that it would be true. I know that I would be alone if I was to say to you, girl, we could get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire. Excuse me. 11:17 a.m. the 6th of April 2019. If I was a saint. Okay, let's bring the Bible over. Let's just have a look here. Okay. So we'll just bring this over here. And it's going to be a right hand random pick. The great, 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 the great. And it's Daniel 7, 7, 2. Daniel 7, verse 2. And now I read that. Daniel said, "In my vision at night I looked, and there before me were 4 great winds of heaven, churning up the great sea." Okay, this is Daniel's dream of 4 beasts. In the year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream, and visions passed through his mind as he was lying on his bed. He wrote down the substance of his dream. Daniel said, "In my vision at night I looked, and there before me were 4 winds of heaven churning up the great sea. 4 great beasts, each different from the others, came up out of the sea. The first was like a lion, and it had the wings of an eagle. I watched until its wings were torn off, and it was lifted from the ground so that it stood on 2 feet like a man, and the heart of a man was given to it. And there before me was a second beast, which looked like a bear. It raised up on its sides, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. It was told, 'Get up and eat your fill of flesh.' After that I looked, and there before me was another beast, one that looked like a leopard, and on its back it had 4 wings like those of a bird. This beast had 4 heads, and it was given authority to rule. After that, in my vision at night, I looked, and there before me was a 4th beast, terrifying and frightening and very powerful. It had large iron teeth. It crushed and devoured its victims, and trampled underfoot whatever was left. It was different from all the former beasts, and it had 10 horns." Okay, well this is, that's a complete made up story within a story within a made up story. Completely made up. Complete bullshit. Okay, the interpretation of the dream. I, Daniel, was troubled in spirit, and the visions that passed through my mind disturbed me. I approached one of those standing there and asked him the true meaning of all this. So he told me and gave me the interpretation of these things. The four great beasts are four kingdoms that will rise from the earth, but the saints of the Most High will receive power and will possess it forever, yes, forever and ever. Then I wanted to know the true meaning of the fourth beast, which was different from all the others and most terrifying, with its iron teeth and bronze claws, the beast that crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. I also wanted to know about the 10 horns on its head and about the other horn that came up, before which 3 of them fell, the horn that looked more imposing than the others and that had eyes and a mouth that spoke boastfully. As I watched, this horn was waging war against the saints and defeating them, until the ancient days came and pronounced judgment in favor of the saints of the Most High, and the time came when they possessed the kingdom. He gave me this explanation. The fourth beast is a fourth kingdom that will appear on earth. It will be different from all the other kingdoms and will devour the whole earth, trampling it down and crushing it. The 10 horns are 10 kings who will come from this kingdom. After them another king will arise, different from the earlier ones. He will subdue 3 kings. He will speak against the Most High and oppress his saints and try to change the set times and the laws. The saints will be handed over to him for a time, times and a half for a time. But the court will sit, and his power will be taken away and completely destroyed forever. Then the sovereignty, power, and greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven will be handed over to the saints, the people of the Most High. His kingdom will be an everlasting kingdom, and all rulers will worship and obey him. This is the end of the matter. I, Daniel, was deeply troubled by my thoughts, and my face turned pale, but I kept the matter to myself. So, does anybody actually think that's real? It just isn't. It's just completely plotted right out by monks, or whoever wrote the Bible. Whoever wrote it, because sure as hell, this is not a running commentary. This is a running commentary by a single person. The stories are from one perspective. Always one angle writing it. It all sounds the same. Anyway. Now left hand random pick. Left hand random pick. Placed. 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 Okay. On him, God the Father has placed his seal of approval. Okay, Jesus, the bread of life. Jesus, the bread of life. Okay. When they found him on the other side of the lake, they asked him, Rabbi, when did you get here? Jesus answered, I tell you the truth, you are looking for me, not because you saw miraculous signs, but because you ate the loaves and had your fill. Do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. On him God the Father has placed his seal of approval. Then they asked him, what must we do to do the work God requires? Jesus answered, the work of God is this, to believe in the one he has sent. So they asked him, what miraculous sign then will you give us that we may see it and believe you? What will you do? Our forefathers ate the manna in the desert, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. Jesus said to them, I tell you the truth, it is not Moses who has given you the bread from heaven, but it is my Father who gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is he who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world. Sir, they said, from now on give us this bread. Then Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will never go hungry, and he who believes in me will never be thirsty. But as I told you, you have seen me, and still you do not believe. All the Father gives me will come to me, and whoever comes to me I will never drive away. For I have come down from heaven not to do my will, but to do the will of him who sent me. And this is the will of him who sent me, that I shall lose none of all that he has given me, but raise them up the last day. For my Father's will is that everyone who looks to the Son and believes in him shall have eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. Well, see, they want everybody to come to Jesus. These the people who wrote this, the monks, want you to come to Jesus, and the only place you can find Jesus is in the church. And they want everybody to come to this one entity. And the church says it's right in the church. And they want complete submission to this entity, this person that supposedly lived 2,000 some odd years ago. They want total allegiance to that character. So want total allegiance to the character Jesus. Let's smoke another joint. I'm so sick of hearing bullshit. I'm so sick of hearing bullshit. And like, you read that and it's like, that's all fucking bullshit. That's what it is. It's just a made up story, the whole thing, and people are living and dying over it. Living and dying over it. Fighting over the syllables of it. And it's the same with the Quran, and same with whatever the Jews are reading, if it's the Old Testament or whatever. People are basing their whole lives on what was written by people trying to corral people into doing something. And I promised that I would get a Quran to read and read whatever the Jews read. I have yet to do that. but I know what the truth is and what a lie is. So that's why I want to read those other books and just determine from logic and actual knowledge of what man can actually do. I'm going to read those books. Oh, yeah. The thing is, so what do I say to help people? If you want to talk to somebody, talk to your maker who is in your head. Your maker. Talk to your maker. In your head and your heart. He'll talk to you. He'll make himself known to you. All you have to do is open up a dialogue. Just say, God, I'm right here, and I want to talk to you. And I need guidance. If that's what you need, or if you need peace, then ask for peace. And by all means ask for wisdom, because God will give wisdom liberally and without holding back. God will give you wisdom. I've asked for wisdom from God many times. She comes out of the sun in a silk dress, running like a watercolor in the rain. Don't bother asking for explanations. She'll just tell you that she came on the year of the cow. But it's 1:36 and I am tired. Some days you don't want to talk that much. That's the way I am. That's the way I am. And today is one of those days where I don't really want to talk that much. Just talk to God in your own mind. And who is God? God is our maker. Whatever, or whoever, or group, whatever created us, that's who I want to connect with, because I figure they know me the most. And I just keep on keeping on. And I try to give off a good vibe. I think that's the best. That's the best anybody can do, is give off a good vibe. I'm very happy. Very, very happy. Very happy. I hope you're happy. If you're not happy, find a way to get happy. Put yourself in a picture where you're going to be happy. Put yourself where you're going to be in a happy place. Yeah, put yourself in a happy place. Let's do another random pick. Why not? Why not? Okay. and it is 1:42 a.m., 6th of April, 2019. And let's do a right hand random pick. Just like this. Right hand random pick. Heavens. Heavens. Heaven. Heavens. Lift your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry host one by one and calls them each by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. So Isaiah 40. Isaiah 40, 26. 40, 26. Okay, I'm going to read Isaiah 40. And this is comfort for God's people. Comfort for God's people. Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem, and proclaim to her that her hard service has been completed, that her sin has been paid for, that she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins. A voice of one calling, prepare the desert. In the desert, prepare the way for the Lord. Make straight in the wilderness a highway for our God. Every valley shall be raised up, every mountain and hill made low. The rough ground shall become level, the rugged places a plain. And the glory of the Lord will be revealed, and all mankind together will see it, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. A voice says, cry out. And I said, what shall I cry? All men are like grass, and all their glory is like the flowers of the field. The grass withers and the flowers fall, because the breath of the Lord blows on them. Surely the people are grass. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of our God stands forever. You who bring good tidings to Zion, go up on a high mountain. You who bring good tidings to Jerusalem, lift up your voice with a shout. Lift it up, do not be afraid. Say to the towns of Judah, here is your God. See, the sovereign Lord comes with power, and his arm rules with him. See, his reward is with him, his recompense accompanies him. He tends his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arms and carries them close to his heart. He gently leads those that have young. Who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, or with the breath of his hand marked off the heavens? Who has held the dust of the earth in a basket, or weighed the mountains up on scales, and the hills in a balance? Who has understood the mind of the Lord, or instructed him as his counselor? Whom did the Lord consult to enlighten him, and who taught him the right way? Who was it that taught him knowledge, or showed him the path of understanding? Surely the nations are like a drop in the bucket. They are regarded as dust on the scales. He weighs the islands as though they were fine dust. Lebanon is not sufficient for altar fires, nor its animals enough for burnt offerings. Before him all nations are as nothing. They are regarded by him as worthless and less than nothing. To whom then will you compare God? What image will you compare him to? As for an idol, a craftsman casts it, and a goldsmith overlays it with gold, and fashions silver chains for it. A man too poor to present such an offering selects wood that will not rot. He looks for a skilled craftsman to set up an idol that will not topple. Do you not know? Have you not heard? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood since the earth was founded? He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in. He brings princes to naught and reduces the rulers of this world to nothing. No sooner are they planted, no sooner are they sown, no sooner do they take root in the ground, than he blows on them and they wither, and a whirlwind sweeps them away like chaff. To whom will you compare me, or who is my equal, says the Holy One. Lift your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry host one by one and calls them each by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. Why do you say, O Jacob, and complain, O Israel? My way is hid from the Lord. My cause is disregarded by our God. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. That's one of my favorite chapters. Well, what can I say? I really don't think that God regards the nations as a drop in the bucket, or that God thinks of man as that people are like grasshoppers. Well, I don't know, maybe they're like ants, I don't know. I've often thought we're like ants. Well, that was a good one. I hope you... But I'll read this again. Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. That's it. Okay. Bye-bye for now.